Why?
Why?
If you have T-Mobile 5G home internet, you might be hearing this
Why?
a lot.
Why?
Every time your internet slows down during the busiest hours.
Why?
Why?
Because your network gives priority to cell phone users.
Why?
Good question. Why not switch to Cox Internet with 2 times faster download speeds than T-Mobile 5G home internet during peak hours?
Okay.
Stop the whys and visit cox.com/5G home for details. T-Mobile prioritizes certain T-Mobile phone users over home internet users during times of congestion.
Leading Ladies, a concert in celebration of Women's History Month featuring Kelsey Ballerini, Meghan Trainor, Elle King, Christina Perri. At the King's Theater in Brooklyn, New York on Wednesday, March 20th. Tickets are on sale now. You don't want to miss this amazing night of music dedicated to uplifting women's voices. With Kelsey Ballerini, Meghan Trainor, Elle King, and Christina Perri. Odyssey's Leading Ladies presented by Olay Body. Buy your tickets now at kingstheater.com.
Ring Bob Lutz.
I miss Duda. You know, that's the kind of son you want.
I hear you loud and clear.
And Jason Duda. For today, anyway.
That's right. Gotcha.
Thanks, Canada. I'll take it from here.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
It's going to be legend. Wait for it. And I hope you're not lactose intolerant because the second half of that word is dairy. Legendary.
Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2, the Bob and Jeff Show here on KFH Radio. Bob Lutz, Jason Duda today. Jason in for Jeff. We won't be here tomorrow, but we will be back here on Monday. I'm now officially a nervous wreck. I've got a score update with 3 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the third quarter. 8th seed Wichita East, which at one point was 5-15 for the season before winning their 2 sub-state games. They lead 22-0 Shawnee Mission Northwest, 45-40, more than halfway through the third quarter. So now I'm officially on edge.
Yeah, well, I'm with you. We talked when we got the score after the first quarter. Oh, geez, they're hanging in there first quarter. Then you got the score at halftime. They were up by 2, and it was all of a sudden, you know what? Maybe they got a shot at this. And now they're up by 5 halfway through the third. Let's go, boys. Go get them.
Well, now I'm just a wreck. So I don't know if I can do the rest of the show. You got it?
Well, I'm tempted to try to see if I can try to get that on my iPad here. And then you can do the show, and I'll watch the rest of the game.
There you go. Wonderful. Good luck to Carlin Witten and his Blue Aces. They've just been playing extremely well of late. And they've got a couple players, Manny Martinez and Ishmael Berry, who have combined for 30 points in that game so far.
Well, that's impressive.
So those guys are going for it.
Well, why wouldn't they?
Right now, you got it. I mean, come on.
You know, the good thing for them is they went into this, they got nothing to lose. Just go play. You know, a lot of times in these games that are single elimination, as we talked about in the last segment, records are thrown out the window. Go play. You get hot. One team gets hot. The other team's all of a sudden struggling a little bit. Anybody can beat anybody in this.
You never know. You never know, do you?
We will soon find out.
Now it's tied with 1:11 to go in the third quarter.
Just like that.
I can't take it. Should I just get off my phone?
Why? Because it'll bug you even more.
And then I'll just get right back on
Exactly. Just to see what's going on.
Then I'll do this, swipe down, update, refresh.
Why are you swiping left and right?
I'm swiping down so it updates. It just drives me nuts. This kind of stuff makes me nervous. I don't blame Joanna Chadwick for going out in the hallway.
No?
When that game was so tight.
No, it's tough. Some people, it's not easy.
Do you do that when for soccer? Let's say Jackson gets into high school and they're in the state. You don't really have anywhere to go on a soccer field. I mean, you can go to your car, I guess.
You could.
Or are you the guy that hangs in there?
No, I'm the parent on the sidelines that doesn't say a word. Watch the game. Whatever unfolds.
Well, good for you.
Well, that's just the way I've.
Do you churn a little bit inside?
Oh, I'm inside. I'm like, come on, boys. You know, this and that. But I don't. I'm very quiet. Probably the quietest parent that's there.
Now on the drive home, do you talk about the game? Do you?
Well, I see how he's feeling. Like sometimes if it's a bad game and they lost, then there's no need to talk about it. We know what happened.
If Jeff's listening to this, he's cringing.
There's
now.
absolutely no reason to talk about it. If we go to a game and we lose 6-1, and we get in the car, the one thing I might say is what coach have to say after the game, and then that's it. Leave it. It's gone. It's done.
Sounds
if it's
exactly
a good game,
what Jeff would say.
If it's a good game or a close game and there were some plays in there or whatever, it'd be like this was done well. That was a good cross. That was a good play on this side of things. What did you think? And then if he's engaging in the conversation, then then I'll talk about it. But if he's not, then I know that he doesn't want to talk about it.
Sounds exactly.
And I know exactly that's how I was. I didn't want to talk about sometimes when I played. When I played with the Thunder, I didn't want to come and have to talk to Jeff after the game. Sometimes I didn't want to, but
I was Jeff's coach for a lot of those years.
And
completely understanding.
I bet you were. So those games you got blown out. What were the car ride? What was
we
the
didn't
car
get
ride
blown
home?
out much. Let me repeat. I was the coach.
Oh, I apologize. So those close games that you may have won or lost. Did you go over every at bat with them? How did it go?
It wasn't to that, dude. I just wanted him to hustle. I wanted him to be into it. Wanted him to be, and he was. He, for the most part, he could goof around a little bit when I didn't think it was warranted. But you get over that stuff.
You should.
So
Yeah. So I mean, they're old enough now.
Don't dwell on it.
These kids are 14. I mean, they know if they played well or if they didn't play well. So, and this is just every parent's different. I get it, but they know if they played well, if they didn't play well, if they made mistakes, or if they had a good game. So if he wants to engage in the car ride home, then we'll talk about it. If he doesn't, I get it because I've been there. And sometimes you just want to go home, go to bed, and play the next day, and that's fine. I think it's fine.
Yeah, that's all good.
Some people like to every question or go over every play or why'd you do this? Well, it's not the time. And I've said this on the show before. I probably learned a lot of that from Coach McClellan when he got to the Thunder, and I was his assistant, and I'd been here for 15 years before that. And after the game, I was like, "Are we going to talk to him?" He goes, "No." I was like, "Well, why aren't we going to talk to them? We just finished." He goes, "Because you're pissed off, I'm pissed off, they're pissed off. Why would we go in there and have a conversation now? It's not going to accomplish anything. So tomorrow morning at practice, we'll have a talk about it. Everyone will have a bite to eat, have a beer, go to sleep, get up, new day, then we'll talk about it. There's no reason to talk about it right after the game."
Whatever.
And he, you know what? I think he was right.
Yeah,
I think he's
fine.
absolutely right.
I mean, we'll give you Parent of the Year. How about that?
I'm not asking for Parent of the Year. I'm just saying in sports, it's not a bad way to do it. Maybe, you know what? We didn't play as bad as we thought we played, or maybe we didn't play as good as we thought we played, and we can talk it out in the morning.
I prefer it that way. I'm
good.
good.
The problem right after a game is you only remember a couple plays that happen. What am I supposed? Is this a radio show?
Like, well, I mean,
but now I'm
a nervous wreck, and
well, so keep looking at your phone. Go ahead. We just talked about this, and now you're back on it. I see what? What, Bob?
Well, I'm trying to find the score.
And look at you.
Yeah, I mean,
you got a
go
vein,
ahead and talk.
You got a vein popping out of your head right now, just trying to find a score. You'll find one. If you see the score now or in 3 minutes, the score now that you're looking for won't matter.
Well, I don't know why my son is not texting me with every bucket scored.
Isn't he working?
Well, certainly he is. This, I hope, would be his lead story if Wichita East can pull this off. The McPherson girls with a 7-point lead in the 4A boys, not girls, the McPherson boys with a 7-point lead over Fort Scott in the 4A tournament. I haven't been able to find an Andover girls score in the 5A tournament, but I'm doing my best to keep people updated here.
You okay?
Not really.
No, you don't. You're not okay. I'm worried about you. If you get worked up, I don't know what's going to happen. So you just calm down. Take a breath, count to 10, and try again. Can you do that?
I can try.
But you're not gonna.
I can try.
But you won't.
It just, I'd like to see, for some reason now, I'm the biggest Wichita East fan that ever existed.
Well,
That's
I'm not
kinda
going to
how I
lie to you.
roll.
I am a huge fan of them right now.
I've got sudden neck pain. I mean, this is awful. I can't quite get comfortable with the chair and the microphone. You know what I'm saying?
I know. Why do you think I'm going to bring a chair in here?
So what I think I'm going to do is order mic stands that, I don't know, we'll figure it out.
Well, whatever
But right now I'm having some severe neck pain. And by the way, yoga instructor Matt Magnuson will be on with us at 3:45. I told you I'd make that happen.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
And by golly, it's going to happen.
And so, what are you going to ask this gentleman?
Well, Andy Hill, the Northwest coach, has just ruined my hopes and dreams.
Why?
Shawnee Mission Northwest has gone up by 9
Just like that.
early in the fourth quarter, from 5 down to 9 up.
With 3 minutes left in the third.
This is my fear. You can lead for a long time, but to try to really get it pulled off over an undefeated team is so difficult.
What's tough?
Because that undefeated team starts to think, wait a minute, we're undefeated.
This isn't right.
What are we doing here?
What's going on? And didn't you say that they have a 7-footer and a 6'9"?
That's what I was told, yes.
Holy smokes.
7-footer's a sophomore. Or
What?
a freshman. I think he's a sophomore.
Wow.
So, Shawnee Mission Northwest has taken a 9-point lead, and there that went. Because it's going to be very hard now to win that game. East would have needed to hold on to the lead.
Yes. Yeah, to come back now was going to be tough, especially
Once
by 9.
you lose that lead, and especially in the very fast nature that this apparently happened, in a span of 4 or 5 minutes on the game clock.
Yes.
You go from 5 up to 9 down. That's a turn in momentum.
Big Mo has went the wrong way for us, I believe.
Oh, well, sometimes it happens. I spoke about Andy Hill, the Northwest boys coach, who's obviously out there watching that game. His Grizzlies play this evening, and Andy Hill will join us at 3:25 today to talk about his club. Exciting time. And then tomorrow, it looks like I'm going to drive up to Emporia.
Oh, what?
Yeah, with one of my friends.
Your
I have
friend?
2 or 3.
A friend?
A friend. And we're going to watch Cape and Mount Carmel tomorrow up in Emporia. So I look forward to that.
Well, good for you. I'm glad you're going. You need to get out of the house a little bit.
I do, but old Misty Louise misses me
Oh, there's Misty now.
when I'm gone.
Watch, you'll change your mind.
Anything going on around the NFL? I saw the Buffalo Bills cut some pretty good people today. It's that time of year where all the teams are kind of fumbling around with their salary cap and how to make it work and what the dead money is going to look like. And it's so complex that I don't even delve into trying to understand it. Just get back to me when you got your roster.
Yeah, I honestly don't at this time of year either. The Broncos cut Simmons too, who'd been there the longest tenure, been there for about 8 years. But right now, before the draft, everyone's trying to position themselves for this summer to make some moves or to do whatever they need to do. So I'm kind of with you on this when it comes to this part of the NFL. I don't keep too much track on what's going on, unless it's a huge name. I mean, Russell Wilson let go, but everybody knew that was coming 2 months ago, so that was not a surprise. We'll just we'll wait and see. The draft will come. Curious to see if anybody's going to move up or down the board. Curious to see what Chicago's going to do with that number 1 pick. If they're going to keep Fields, they're going to draft Williams, what they're going to do with that. Those are a couple things that I'm kind of interested in when it comes to the draft. I'll probably pay attention to probably the first round, and then that'll be
I like the draft. I like hearing about the players and seeing how teams may trade. I like the fact that you can trade in the NFL draft. Wish you could do that in the Major League Baseball draft. Johnny Smith signs with Miami as a tight end. They're trying to bolster their offense. So we'll see. But it's an interesting time with all these player movements. And we'll see how things shake out. Very curious to see what the Chiefs do to try to.
Are they going to get a receiver?
They've got this window, and they're going to try to win this every year. Obviously, that's an statement of the obvious, and I don't know how many they'll end up with.
Well, here's the one thing I think they got to get somebody. Travis Kelce, as good as he is going to be 35 years old. Now, 35 years old as a quarterback's nothing. 35-year-old as a tight end or even a wide receiver.
That's difficult.
There's not many out there at 35 that play the game unless you're a lineman.
Here's what the Chiefs have learned, though, which I think is extremely valuable to them. What they've learned is they don't necessarily have to have the most high-powered offense in the world because now their defense is carrying a lot of the water. So if they continue with that mindset, okay, we've got Patrick Mahomes. He can make this work with the personnel he has around him. But if we keep this defense at a high level, we're not so dependent upon Mahomes and the offense.
But who does that also kind of remind you of? The Patriots.
Yeah, that's exactly how the Patriots.
Exactly what it was. They had a really good defense, and Brady had he had Gronk and he had Edelman. He had one of those two. That was basically it when they won their championships later on. They had nothing else. It was just like Mahomes and the lineup he has and the guys out there.
They ran the ball okay, but it was by committee. It wasn't any star. I like Isaiah Pacheco as one of the top 10 running backs in the league. I think he's that good. Kelce, Rashee Rice, they think he's going to be, if not a star, certainly a high-level receiver. They've got they can pick some receiver in the first round of the draft. Mel Kiper has him picking a guy that at number 32, he makes him sound like this could be the steal of the draft. I don't have his name. But the Chiefs are in that open window of opportunity. And, boy, if you're a Chiefs fan right now, you're living a good life.
Well, absolutely you are. I'm hoping they keep Snead. They need to keep him.
Looks like they're going to franchise him.
Going to franchise him, but it's one of those open.
It is.
It's so, I mean, he can still kind of look around or whatever, however it works, and I'd be lying if I could break it down and tell you exactly how it is. So you don't want him to go anywhere, and then Chris Jones, you're going to bring him back. You're going to pay him. What are you going to do with that situation?
Pay him.
Well, I think you kind of have to. I don't think you can give him
pay a receiver,
but I don't think you can give Jones a long-term deal because he's getting a little older as well.
Go with what you have at receiver. Don't go out in the free agent market for that. I've settled on that.
I don't
address
think
it in the draft with your first-round pick, and go from there.
I don't think they're going to go spend a bunch of money on the receivers that are out there.
Well, that's what we all thought at the start of the.
We did, but T. Higgins got franchised then. Mike Evans obviously signed a 2-year.
Went back to Tampa.
Well, they gave him $52 million over 2 years, so I'd probably go back since I'd been there my whole career anyway.
I guess, but they're not going to win anything.
Can't blame them for that.
They're not going to win anything.
No,
this league is all about your QB. Nowadays, there's some times in the past where some middling quarterbacks were able to win. I get it, but not in today's NFL. If you don't have the guy, you might as well forget it.
It's crazy how different it is. You know, looking back on Trent Dilfer winning.
But that's now, what, 30 years ago?
Well, 20, I guess. But that's what I'm saying. Like, back then, you could win with just having a defense. Baltimore won their championship with Ray Lewis and that defense. Now, you really can't. You have to have a good one, but a good one's holding your opponent to 21 to 24 points. That's a pretty decent defense if you're playing the top teams.
I'll pick the Chiefs to win it next year. Right now.
You will. Are you a Chiefs fan again? Like, where are you on
I'm
that?
not a Chiefs fan, but I admire the Chiefs.
Well, you have to admire them.
Yeah, I didn't used to admire
I'm not a
them.
Chiefs guy either, but I sure can respect what they've
I don't mind the
accomplished.
Chiefs. I can see why people like them.
Well,
I mean,
they're fun
what's
to
not
watch.
to like?
It's fun to watch. You
Give
got
me something not to like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're fun to watch. There isn't nothing to like.
But I mean, even in their personalities, even in their, you got to like Mahomes. You got to like Kelsey. You got to like Andy Reid. You got to like them.
No argument. Can't argue with you. I know you want to, and you're looking for one, but
I wish you would.
I can't. I can't, because that's a subject that you're actually right on. It took you an hour and 20 minutes today to get there, but you got there.
2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Shawnee Mission Northwest with a 67-57 lead now over Wichita East. So good effort from the Blue Aces, but they're not going to pull this one off. And that's too bad.
It is.
McPherson boys with a 5-point lead late in their 4A tournament game against Fort Scott. 2:30 to go, 50-45 in favor of McPherson. So there's your update. We'll be back. We will talk with Andy Hill, the boys coach at Wichita Northwest. He's with us next.
Why?
Why?
If you have T-Mobile 5G home internet, you might be hearing this
Why?
a lot.
Why?
Every time your internet slows down during the busiest hours.
Why?
Why?
Because your network gives priority to cell phone users.
Why?
Good question. Why not switch to Cox Internet with 2 times faster download speeds than T-Mobile 5G home internet during peak hours?
Okay.
Stop the whys and visit cox.com/5G home for details. T-Mobile prioritizes certain T-Mobile phone users over home internet users during times of congestion.
Leading Ladies, a concert in celebration of Women's History Month featuring Kelsey Ballerini, Meghan Trainor, Elle King, Christina Perry. At the King's Theater in Brooklyn, New York on Wednesday, March 20th. Tickets are on sale now. You don't want to miss this amazing night of music dedicated to uplifting women's voices. With Kelsey Ballerini, Meghan Trainor, Elle King, and Christina Perry. Odyssey's Leading Ladies, presented by Olay Body. Buy your tickets now at kingstheater.com.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Andy Hill, the boys basketball coach at Wichita Northwest, joins us. Coach Hill, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're doing well. So you sent me a text about the East score. They end up losing by 15 in that game. They just ran out of gas?
Yeah, they did. I wasn't able to see the fourth quarter either. I had to leave to get back to Northwest. We're getting ready to have a shoot around here. But, yeah, I heard you that your son was failing you on updates. So my assistant was there and sending us scores on the finish. So I thought I'd give you an update. Yeah, they played a heck of a game, and Coach Witten has obviously done an amazing job. Really all year with that team. They lost a bunch of close games, and like you said, they ran out of gas. But
Good for them keeping that game interesting for a long time. You have a tough one tonight at 8 o'clock at Koch Arena. You face Blue Valley Northwest. They've kind of been the preeminent team in Class 6A for a while now. Wichita Heights might have something to say about that. But Blue Valley Northwest has been kind of the standard bearer. What do you have to do to take them on tonight?
Yeah, it's a heck of a challenge. We're going to have to do some things to try and combat their size that they've got over us. Really try and collapse in on the paint, speed the game up, try and heat their guards up as much as we can, although they've got really good guard play as well. But just, try and bring an incredible amount of energy and toughness to the game and, not let the moment be too big, are kind of the things we've got to take care of. And I think our kids are excited. They're really, pumped about the opportunity and the challenge. And, you mentioned Blue Valley Northwest and Heights. I think everybody in the state would agree that they've been 1A and 1B in some order, in the last decade plus. So, to have this challenge in front of us is exciting.
Coach, I was at the game against Mays last week, and what I noticed was, do you press that much all the time, or was that just a game against Mays where you were pressing the ball all over the court at every single possession? I'd never seen it never fallen back at all. Is that kind of your strategy all year, and is that something that you'll take into your game tomorrow night?
Yeah, that's how we've played all year long, Jason. We know that we're not the biggest team, but we've got, some pretty quick, fast, athletic kids, and we kind of figured out early on in practices that, we've got some guys that can get after the ball and some smart kids that, make good decisions on, when to go and pursue a trap versus when to stay. And so it's been, overall pretty successful for us. And it obviously really did some good things for us on Saturday against Mays. And we're, that's how we are, and that's how we play, excuse me. So that's what we got to try to do tonight as well. We can't all of a sudden change just because of the opponent. We got to, do what's made us good all year long.
Andy Hill, our guest, the boys coach at Wichita Northwest. They play tonight at 8 o'clock at Koch Arena. Blue Valley Northwest, the opponent. I'm curious, Andy, who do you watch at the college level to kind of try to emulate? Because when you talked about your style, I watched Iowa State BYU last night, and Iowa State just as relentless defensively. They eventually wore BYU down in that game to the point where BYU, it looked like they had just kind of lost their legs. Is that kind of what you try to accomplish? And is Iowa State one of those teams you like to watch?
They are incredible to watch. Coach O does a heck of a job there. I'm a huge KU fan. I have been, my whole life growing up. So obviously when I have time to sit down and watch a college basketball game, it's usually going to be them. But, as far as our goal to try and, wear an opponent down throughout the course of the game, that's definitely something that we talk about a lot, is, the goal when you're pressing the whole game and trying to speed teams up, it's not necessarily – you're not going to force a turnover every single possession, but you're going to make teams hopefully play faster than they're comfortable playing. And then, hopefully come fourth quarter, they're a little more gassed than maybe they're expecting to be because they haven't played a game like that before.
Coach, during the season, obviously, was there a spot where you said to yourself, okay, you know what, we got a good shot at this, we got a good shot to get in the state? Was there a run in there of a few games or just a game that you said to yourself, okay, we got a shot at getting at state and maybe making some noise there?
Yeah, I think there was three different moments I can think of. One was before Christmas. We played Southeast here, and we played just a phenomenal game, and we beat them by 30. And Southeast was a good team. And after that kind of opened my eyes a little bit to how good this team could be. And the second was at our midseason tournament in Topeka. We were able to win that tournament. We beat Topeka Highland Park in the championship game, and they're in the 5A Final Four right now. That's their only loss on the season. So that was another moment where we kind of it reinforced how good we think we can be. And then right towards the end of the regular season, we lost a tough game to West, and then we turned around in our final regular season game and were able to beat Capon on our home floor. So I think that win gave us the momentum we needed going into the postseason here, and I think the guys are really confident.
Andy Hill with us from Wichita Northwest. Yeah, when you beat Steve Eck and Capon, that's a pretty good way to go into the postseason. So I'm curious, when you play this long, you start practices in the middle of November. Here we are approaching the middle of March, and trying to keep a team confident and believing in themselves. How big of a challenge is that at this level?
I think it's a tremendous challenge. And you mentioned the length of the season. The high school basketball season is the longest one calendar-wise of all the high school seasons. So, when you're winning, it's a lot easier to kind of keep guys believing in themselves. But every season, you know, is going to have moments of ups and downs, and it helps when, like us, we've got a close-knit group of guys this year, and you know, they've really been really connected for us all year long, and you know, they love each other and love this game. So that's really helped just to kind of, you know, get through those moments when things don't go the way you expect them to.
Well, I guess obviously the kids are probably excited to get to play in Coke. Now, obviously, a totally different atmosphere, different court. Everything looks a little different. Do you talk about that at all?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about some of those things, you know, even getting down to like, you know, the way they do starting introductions and just little things like that are going to be out of routine. You know, you try to prepare the guys for that just so nothing catches them off guard. But, you know, you get into that moment and, you know, your preparation is what can hopefully allow you to play with a clear mind and not allow the moment to be too big. And I think, you know, like you said, the guys are pumped for the opportunity to go play at Coke Arena. And, you know, just to have made it to this point in the season is really big for those kids in this program.
All right. Well, I've learned to not be a homer throughout my journalism career, but when it comes to state tournaments and high school sports, I have become a homer for the City League and our area teams. So don't get my hopes up tonight and then dash them, okay? Follow this through. Take it all the way.
We're going to do our best, Bob.
Thank you, Andy. We appreciate it.
Andy, make sure you do it for Bob, okay? Don't worry about the kids.
That's going to be the last thing I say to the guys before we take the floor, man. We got to do this for Bob.
That would probably do more harm than good, but thank you for your time. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, Andy Hill, the head boys coach at Wichita Northwest, in action tonight against Blue Valley Northwest at 8 o'clock. That's a little bit past my bedtime. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
Well, I thought you were going down.
That East loss really took it out of me, man.
Now you're tired.
A little tired now. In 5A, girls Andover remains undefeated. They beat Blue Valley Southwest 65-42. The 4A boys final, McPherson over Fort Scott 61-48. 3A girls, we had Haven. They didn't fare well. They lost 75-38 to unbeaten Silver Lake. And in the 2A boys tournament in Dodge City, Conway Springs was defeated by unbeaten Linden 51-38. So there you go. There's your update on scores. We're waiting Matt Magnuson, who's our yoga guy.
He's
yoga
our
Matt,
yoga
I call
guy.
him.
So what exactly are you going to try to accomplish?
Well, I'm going to try to get him to convince you that you should go see him.
That's
Look at you. You're stretching your back right now. There you go again. Your shoulders, your neck. I mean, you're a mess.
My leg's cramping too right now.
Who would want to invite you to a dinner party? I mean,
get my foot and push it up.
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm not touching anything. I'm going to let.
I got a shoe on.
I'm going to let Matt Magnuson handle this when he calls. And Matt, you better call. I went to a lot of work. There he is, our friend Matt Magnuson. Matt, hello. Welcome to Bob and Jeff and Bob and Jason today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good afternoon, guys. How are you?
Well, tell us first, and I'm going to try to get you to Jason Duda's just a mess physically. His back hurts, his shoulders hurt, his neck hurts. But first, tell us about your background in yoga.
Yeah, so I got into yoga because of injuries. So just really quickly, before I got into yoga, I was a marathon runner, started running marathons 2013. Beginning of 2018, I was involved in a car wreck where I was struck by a drunk driver 4 times the legal limit. And it really did a number on my spine. I've got 7 different injuries to my spine. The worst part was low back as well as my neck. And long story short, started doing DDP yoga and over a period of time, continued to progress. Finally made a full recovery. And I'll tell you right now, I am 48 years old, and I feel better now with spinal stenosis than I did in any time throughout my 30s. And in fact, since recovering from the injury, I moved on from doing marathons to moving up to doing ultra marathons, where I recently did a 100-mile ultra marathon. So I really think that this would definitely help him out. I think it helps out any guy our age. As we get older, we start getting, just aches and pains. But if you've been an athlete, especially a hockey player who's, taken a beating, who has, injuries like his, back, shoulders, when you're doing yoga, it does a couple of things. It's going to, increase mobility. It's going to strengthen muscles, but it's really going to strengthen those ligaments and tendons while stabilizing core muscles. It's going to elongate the spine to help take that pressure off that spine where it's pinching down on nerves and causing discomfort. So I think this would really help him out.
How old are you again? 48? Oh, interesting. 40. What do you have to ask, Matt?
He's asking me. I'm 48 too, Matt. So Bob's over here thinking that he's found the fountain of youth for me, and listening to you, you make me sound like a really, really lazy person.
Definitely not the intent to make you feel lazy, but you know what? I could certainly tell you that you could feel better and you could feel much younger. Definitely doing yoga is the fountain of youth. I think that show me a guy who's flexible, and I'll show you a guy that doesn't have very much low back pain.
So tell me this, and we're talking with Matt Magnuson about yoga and how badly and desperately Duda needs this. How often would he need to engage, and for how long in each engagement? What would that look like?
Well, I would say ideally, 3 to 4 hours a week is a good sweet spot. That's usually where I target. Early on, and he probably doesn't have much flexibility today. So
none, zero.
Yeah, so those workouts are going to be a little bit shorter, maybe 20, 30 minutes. And that's the beautiful thing about yoga is that you can start yoga anywhere. There are people that are much worse than you that, have to start doing yoga by laying in a bed or standing or sitting in a chair or standing up holding a chair to balance. And I've seen people that have gone through this. If you go on YouTube, you can there's 2 videos you can look at that'll really show you how this works. One, if you just type in DDP Yoga Injured Veteran, you're going to see this awesome video about this paratrooper who messed up his back in the first Gulf War, did hundreds and hundreds of jumps. After he got out of the military, he bubbled up to over 300 pounds, walked around with canes. He started doing this exact same program. And then, over the course of time, he lost 150 pounds. And the end of the video, they show him sprinting down the road where he could barely even walk and stand previously. Also, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Butterbean, the former boxer, tough man fighter. He recently as well used yoga to, he was in rough shape, almost 500 pounds, bad hips. Doctors wouldn't even do surgery for him because his hips were so banged up. And so if you do just type in DDP Yoga Butterbean on YouTube, you'll find the video right away, and it'll show just this amazing journey that he did, that he lost several hundred pounds and got a lot of that pain eliminated. When the video starts out, the guy is in a wheelchair and thought he was going to be in a wheelchair the rest of his life. Now he's up around, moving, walking around, and was able to make that weight to get a successful hip surgery.
Okay, so you did mention one thing that I might be able to do, because I can hold a couch down better than most people. So what are some of the things I could do while I'm sitting on the couch?
While you're sitting on the couch, there's specifically for your neck, there's different movements that you can do to strengthen those ligaments that are in your neck that are it's kind of hard to translate this over the radio, quite honestly, but there are, I could send you some videos over email if you'd like to give you some specific instruction. But
he was just being let me ask you this,
I'm
Matt.
serious.
We got a couple minutes left.
If I could actually do it,
let me ask you this, Matt.
Did you not?
You
got him on for me, and now you're not letting me speak.
Yeah, because you're not being serious about this. Let me ask you this: if Jason doesn't address this, and I've seen this now for a few years. I mean, he has difficulty getting up our stairs, difficulty rising up from a chair. It's not anything he's doing wrong. It's just from playing hockey as long as he did. But if he doesn't do something to address this, what's 58 look like?
Yeah, it's not going to get better. Movement is medicine. It's what I always tell all my students. If you just continue to sit around, that pain is going to continue to get worse. You're not going to see any type of improvement. But conversely, if you do this, it's going to give you some of your life back. You're going to be able to do some things that you're not able to do, at least do pain-free. Getting out of bed in the morning is going to be much easier. Doing difficult tasks is going to be much easier. All those things are going to get harder without addressing it.
All right, Matt, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on the show on short notice. We'll see if we got through. My guess is we didn't, but we'll see.
Hopefully so, man. I'd like to see that pain go away, Jason.
I appreciate it.
Send me a message on Facebook as to how he might get in touch with you if he does decide to move on this.
Yeah, I'll send you some information. I'd be happy to do some private instruction. I do that with quite a few local athletes, so very happy to help.
Thank you, Matt. We appreciate it. So there you go. That's the sales pitch I was hoping for.
You got what you wanted?
Well, he made it very clear. I'm
did.
being serious. I'm not really even joking.
I know, and so is he. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. I definitely give him that. But
I wish there wasn't a but. I wish there was just I'm going to check into this and see what it would take to maybe set out on this course to make your life more pain-free.
All right. Well, we'll consider it.
At least talk to your wife about it.
Because I know exactly what she'll say.
What will she say?
Well, it'd just be like having a conversation with you right now. Be the same thing.
Well, maybe she's the wise one here.
Well, there's no argument there, really.
So we'll see. I mean, I just think it would be helpful for you. I mean, if you were
you're probably right.
If you were my son, I would say the same thing.
You're right. I mean, you are right. You're correct. You're absolutely correct. There.
Right.
Look, you got me to admit that you're right. At the end of the show, your whole weekend has been made.
We've come to the end. We appreciate all of you listening today. Get out and watch a state tournament tonight if you can. We'll be back on Monday. Have a good weekend.
How powerful is Cox Internet? Powerful enough to let your band members in Vegas, Phoenix, and Rhode Island jam like you're all in the same garage. Get Cox Internet powered by fiber with America's fastest download speeds. It's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, always building better. Cox Internet is connected to the premises via coaxial connection. Speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms and other restrictions may apply. Analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data. Fixed median download speeds. US Q3 2023.
We all agree that reducing carbon emissions is a good thing. And once again, Toyota is leading the way. We hear a lot about fully electric vehicles, and Toyota has them, with more coming in. But we also know a BEV is not for everyone, whether it's because of cost, range, or concern about finding a charging station when you need it. Plus, the raw materials used to manufacture batteries are limited. Enter Beyond Zero, Toyota's vision for a carbon-neutral future. In vehicles and in manufacturing plants, too, in the years ahead. The materials used to make just one long-range battery for an EV could be used to make batteries for 6 plug-in hybrids or 90 gas-electric hybrids. That's why Toyota's position today is electrified, diversified, empowering you to choose how to reduce your own carbon footprint with the vehicle that's right for you, a hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or battery EV. So shop, learn more, and get details at toyota.com/beyondzero. Toyota, let's go places.
Leading Ladies, a concert in celebration of Women's History Month featuring Kelsey Ballerini, Meghan Trainor, Elle King, Christina Perri. At the King's Theater in Brooklyn, New York on Wednesday, March 20th. Tickets are on sale now. You don't want to miss this amazing night of music dedicated to uplifting women's voices. With Kelsey Ballerini, Meghan Trainor, Elle King, and Christina Perri. Odyssey's Leading Ladies presented by Olay Body. Buy your tickets now at kingstheater.com.